Welcome back to another edition of Survival Mode. We're in the deep dive. Kevin, Mike, it was a wonderful show, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
All right, now we're going to get deeper into it. This is step number 3 of the deep of your business. This is the third step. Build your business like a boss. People are still getting confused in business planning versus a business plan. Now, we talked about that. And what does that mean to you when people say vice versa? What does that mean to you, Kevin?
Well, like we said in the show, the business planning is putting it together. The business plan specifically is just a document that lays out what your business is going to do and how it's going to do it. It incorporates part of your vision. It incorporates a lot of things, but until you build your organizational structure, your operational structure, you don't really have the material you need to write a business plan. And I believe Michael might have said it in the show too. A lot of people think, well, I need to have the money before I can move forward. So therefore I need to write a business plan, but you don't even know what you're doing yet. So until we get through these planning stages, you really don't know what should go into that business plan. Because essentially you're just lying to the bank or whoever you're getting your money from. I mean, essentially, because what you present to them, they may say, yes, we'll give you the money. But then once you go through the planning stages, it's like, well, first of all, do you even know how much to ask for? Because if we use the example of the restaurant, takeout versus sit down, I would think sit down is going to cost a whole lot more to build and make happen than a takeout place. Now, I might be wrong. I don't work in the restaurant industry, but I'm thinking it's going to cost more. So you're going to have to ask for more. Well, if you ask for money for a sit down, then you build a takeout. I don't know what the banks can do at that point, but they might, if they can do something, they just might. So you want your business plan to be accurate, but it can't be accurate till you go through the planning stages. So that's the difference between business planning versus the business plan.
All right. Now, Michael, we're going to go to understanding your organizational structure. Now, that is the most important aspect of your business planning. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Why is it the most important?
It's the most important because your organizational structure determines what you're going to do and how you're going to conduct and do business. Your organizational structure tells the general public that this organization is going to do this type of business. And so in your business model, your model is centered around the decision that we are going to do this. And when you decide to do this, your organization is going to support that. So your organizational structure really is the defining point of how you're going to do and conduct business.
But I want to change some things now. I should be able to change some things now. We talked about that and say no, 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 no. Don't change anything because we're going to have to go back all over again and start everything all over again. But we've been in business long enough to know that people change their minds and then they want to do it their way.
Let me give you just came to my mind. Think about it like an architect. An architect builds a design. Let's talk about a bridge because people will be able to understand that better. A bridge can carry a certain amount of weight based upon the design. If somebody say, "Hey, I want to change the design," but guess what? The new design that they changed doesn't support the capacity of the weight that the architect structured it for. Well, guess what? If they do that and they change it, people might die because the bridge might collapse. Well, guess what? When it comes to a business, it's that important, it's that serious. When you structure it, you need to keep it like that. Now, you can change your operation, you can change other things, but you can't change how you're going to do and conduct business because that's what the government is going to know you to do. And if you change it, like Kevin mentioned earlier, essentially you're going to be lying to them unless you go all the way back and change everything from the beginning.
Let me add one more thing to the bridge analogy. That bridge was designed based on the vision of what it was going to need to do.
Good point.
So when you develop your vision, the bridge doesn't get built first. The vision is there. Then there's research done to find out about the traffic that's going to be going over that bridge. Then the bridge is designed to incorporate or to fulfill the vision that was built to support. Now, if the builders change something afterward, or let's say the architect says, you know what, I think I'm going to do it this way instead of based on the vision that was originally developed. Like, maybe the bridge will collapse, maybe it'll overrun in costs, and it'll still support the traffic, but it's going to overrun in costs because it didn't follow the vision that was put forth. That the bridge, the design of the bridge has to support the vision of the bridge. It's not the other way around.
Okay.
Great point.
Great point. All right. Now we're coming to the point where we've got to facilitate this business, and that is your operational structure. Now, when we facilitate, now this is the second most important aspect of your business model. Okay, because right now we're in the production stages. Well, we're trying to develop the production stage, and the P's of the P's, production and profit, which are platform, where you're going to be, like we were talking about the restaurant that we're going to be takeout or dine in, the personnel, the procedures, the processes, the policies that we're going to enact. And you as the owner, you got to know all of this. You may not do all of it, but you got to know it. So, and you have to develop everything because the products and services are based upon supply and demand. That's going to be presented at the time that you're going to be launching your business. So I'm going to ask both of you guys, no matter what we do, we might be planning, we might doing our vision, but we're planning all the way through. We're still gathering data to make sure that this stuff is going to work. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. Gathering data starts on day one and it continues for the rest of the life of the business.
Whoa. That means I got work to do, huh?
If you want to make money.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Yes, I want to make money. I want to make that profit. And I want to go back in terms of, you got to be honest with yourself. And and Michael says this all the time, you got to be open-minded. If you're not honest with what you tell someone, you tell us, because we're basing our decisions or basing our techniques based upon what you said. So you got to be honest with it. Okay, you can't hold back information. Am I right, guys?
No, that's correct. And the thing is, if you're not working with someone, like us, if you didn't bring us on as consultants and you're working by yourself, you got to be honest with yourself. None of us likes to think that we can't do something. I'm a do-it-yourselfer. I believe I can do everything. Well, I stopped working electrical because I got a shock one time and it kind of told me like, yeah, you can do anything, but it's kind of dangerous doing it. Maybe you need to bring somebody else in on this. Even there might even be parts that you can do yourself, but perhaps you don't have the time for it. And then you got to bring somebody else in. Make those decisions along the way and if let's say we get into the part where we're making things legal. I mean, I know that's next episode, it was in the next step. But you're trying to make everything legal, but you're not understanding what you're reading. Bring somebody else in. Don't try to struggle your way through it. If you don't have the time to learn it all, bring somebody in who already knows. During the operational structure, you had asked me the question during the show on the first structure. Wow, my brain just went blank. Organizational structure. You asked me about marketing. The marketing that goes with this piece it's basically the same answer that I gave in the show, that we're always creating content. Here's the difference. During the organizational structure, our marketing assets that we're creating are about what we do for our customers and clients. This one is how we do it for you. So, this can be if you ever saw marketing of cakes, it's cake like your mother would have made. Okay, that comes from the operational piece of it. From the other, it's like we sell cake. That would be from the organizational structure. So there's differences on, one is what we do, the other is how we do it.
Okay, what kind of cake is that again?
It's going to be yellow cake with chocolate fudge icing. That's the only kind of cake there really is, isn't it?
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure. Okay. Now we get into, we're going to be incorporating the business. It's straightforward, Michael, with, business credibility and, talks about capital, credit, credentials, and connections. I thought we would talk about, the credit aspect, but I think, and the capital aspect, I think they need to call us, to find out more about that, because it's so detailed and everything is so individualized. It's not the same for every person. None of this is going to be the same for every person. Everybody is going to be different. Go ahead, Michael.
Yes, let me summarize that because I haven't heard anybody else. Our organization really is the only one that has said it like this. You identify and you acquire your capital and the credit based upon your organizational structure and your business model and your entrepreneur desires. Okay, so now let me break that down. Now, somebody says, I need capital. Well, how much capital do you need? Now, they're going to say, well, I need 100,000. But does your business model say that? Does your business model say that? Secondly, let's say, for instance, a business needs a vehicle. Okay, they need a truck. All right, they need a truck for their business. Okay, your organizational structure or your business model tells you that we need a truck to help facilitate the business, whatever we're doing. Mm-hmm. Now, this is what kicks in. Your entrepreneurial desires. Guess what? That person might want this type of truck. And I don't know if it's okay for us to call names, but there are many different types of trucks. But you may I like how that truck looks. I want to drive that particular truck. We need a truck, but I like that one because it fits our brand and our style, and I like it personally. Well, at that point in time, you decide that truck based upon your business model and your entrepreneurial desires. Your desires as an entrepreneur has to always be parallel to your business model as well. No, but when you understand those two things, now you know how to go after business capital and business credit properly. You see, and it makes it so much easier because you now have focus. You now have understanding on how to acquire. So I just wanted to throw that out there because people always they say, I want to get business credit. And then the question is, well, what for? You're going after the actual resource instead of identifying the objective as to why you need the resource. And most people, because they don't understand that, they have a hard time doing it. You see, so like you were saying, you can start and you can build your personal credit, your consumer credit during your business model development process. Well, guess what? When you start identifying this stuff and you start seeing that, you know what, I need my personal credit, it's very important, you're going to start respecting it more and actually building it properly and much quicker because you see that if I fix this, I'm going to be able to get that.
Oh, you said respected it more. Respecting it. Oh,
yeah.
Listen at you. Okay. All right.
So, yeah.
But because it's, everybody's different, you really got to be willing to open up and say, lay it all out there. This is what I need to do. This is what I need to do. All right. Am I right, guys?
Yes.
and
Yes, you are.
tell the truth about, and I'm not saying you're lying, but be realistic. Be realistic about what you're trying to do. Okay, that's the deep dive for today. We will be back again with step number 4, survival mode. Live.